Hi there, I'm Tyler Ballhorn. Welcome to the Stockscores Market Analysis for April 5th, 2010. Let's get right into the charts as we always do. Here is a table of the charts that we're going to look at. These are all exchange-traded funds representing key market indexes, commodities, or currencies. I'm going to jump to the slideshow view of these charts, and you can see here that we start off with the Dow ETF, symbol DIA. Pretty good looking upward trend. Long-term upward trend line is something like that, and the short-term trend line is like that. Don't be surprised if we eventually see a break of this and a pull back to that long-term upward trend line, but right now there's really no sign of weakness in the market, and therefore this thing looks like it will continue higher. Next chart is of the Canadian dollar, which has broken a flag pattern 3 or 4 days ago. I talked about that last week, and it is now moving to new highs. We're almost at par value on the Canadian dollar, and it looks to me like the Canadian dollar will continue to be a strong performer, although it wouldn't surprise me to find some resistance at par value on the Canadian US dollar exchange. Gold is pretty much stuck in a trading range. I wouldn't consider this a great chart. I would call it neutral. It is, of the charts that I'm looking at, really the only chart that is neutral. I'm just not really crazy about gold. I don't think that it's going anywhere near term, but certainly longer term it might have some potential. Here's a chart of oil. Broke that downward trend line a few days ago. I'll draw that on here for you. That was really a breakout from a longer term pennant pattern. Pretty positive sign. That looks to me like oil is going higher. Now we are right at some resistance here. So we may get stuck in the next few days, but I do like oil longer term, and I think it is probably one of the better sectors going forward because unlike most of the market, oil has not been in an upward trend, and so the oil stocks have not generally been in an upward trend either. So I do like the oil stocks going forward. I think it's got the best room for growth. NASDAQ 100 made a nice move to new highs today. I expect that that strength will continue, especially since we've sort of breaking out from a maybe 5-day period of sideways trading on the NASDAQ stocks. And I think we'll see the NASDAQ lead stocks higher in general. S&P 500 also made a good break from that period of sideways trading. In the S&P 500, the sideways trading goes back a few weeks, and this break today is significant, although it is on light volume, and that is a bit of a concern, but certainly the price action a positive. And I think in general we should expect stocks to move higher from here. Canadian market is bumping up against resistance. You can see here on the chart we've got that short-term resistance to deal with, but with strength in oil and weakness in the US dollar, strength in the Canadian dollar, I think these Canadian stocks can move through that resistance near term. Certainly we have that optimism building here, as I've drawn with that upward sloping line across the bottoms. So I like the Canadian market in general. I also think that it has the potential to outperform the US markets in the short term because it has underperformed over the last few weeks. And finally, the US dollar index has been pulling back for the last week or so, and that's really one of the reasons why the commodities, the Canadian dollar, and stocks in general have gone up. However, we are almost back to that upward trend line, so look for the US dollar to maybe have a couple more down days before it bounces, and that should bring the Canadian dollar back to keep it under par value on the US dollar and maybe take some profit taking into the oil market short term. Longer term, however, I think those commodities like oil and the US dollar, or pardon me, the Canadian dollar should continue higher because their charts are positive, but we're going to see a little bit of a influence from the US dollar as it bounces off of its upward trend line. Well, that has been the Stockscores Market Analysis for, April 5th, 2010. For more information on the tools and services offered by Stockscores, give us a visit at www.stockscores.com. If you would like to use this new trading desk tool, you'll need to take a look at us at tradingdesk.stockscores.com. Have a great week in the market and trade well.